Hi, this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really delighted to be here today with David Henshaw, who is Director at DH Freight. David, lovely to meet you.
Hi there, yeah, nice to meet you too.
So David, tell us a bit, first of all, about DH Freight and what your company does.
Yeah, sure. So DH Freight is a freight forwarding company. Our job mainly is to get any sort of cargo from A to B globally. We mainly specialise in shipping cars from the UK to the Far East. We've been doing it now for sort of 6 years. So yeah, that's predominantly what we do as a company. We ship cars from the UK to Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and we also do a lot of customs clearance work now, and that's all come about because of Brexit. So yeah, that's kind of the main areas that we focus within.
So tell us a bit, first of all, what sort of cars do you ship, out of complete nosiness?
Of course, it's a lot of high-end cars. So we ship to countries that are former Commonwealth countries, so they drive
Right.
on the same side of the road as us. But it's sort of from a Mercedes-Benz upwards, really, Range Rovers, and also like the high-end cars, Ferraris, Lamborghinis. So
Wow.
yeah, yes, it's interesting. And
Oh gosh, I bet it is.
yeah,
So
I've been fortunate to drive some very nice cars over time as well. So yeah.
So tell us a bit about how you got into that, how you started that as a business, because I know you're one of the owners as well.
Yeah, sure. So one of our first customers is someone that I've known for quite a long time and I got along with quite well. I basically went to them with the idea that I wanted to start to arrange shipments and would I be able to obviously help them. And we did a good job. We were very thorough in what we did, and it's just spread from word of mouth, really. That's the main way that we've got a lot of customers. So yeah, just performing to a high standard, really.
That's amazing. So have you always been interested in cars? Is that something that you've always
Yeah,
had a passion for?
yeah, I have, to be fair. So especially when it's something that's a bit different, and yeah, the high end market obviously gives you that, that's for sure.
So how did you, was it from knowing this person, or did you sort of recognise that there might be this gap in the market that you found?
Yeah, that was the reason I started it. I mean, I've been in shipping since I left school at 16, so I understood shipping, and I recognised from the company I was working at that there weren't many people that were in that sort of industry as such to ship motor vehicles. It was quite niche, and I felt that with my passion for it, that we could sort of branch into that area and yeah, had a potential to be successful. And yeah, fortunately, it has been.
I love that you've combined something that you're passionate about with the experience that you got in a very much related industry. Tell us a bit about your journey into your current position. So you said you worked in shipping since you left school.
Yeah. When I left high school, I was, as most people are, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I recognised that I was struggling a little bit with the higher education way of working. So I wanted to earn money. So I took an apprenticeship at a shipping company local to myself. I mean, I got into the industry because my mother and father both worked in shipping and logistics. And I enjoyed it from the moment I started. I found it interesting, the different parts of how you were to get something from A to B, to do like the paperwork that was involved and the intricacies of it, and also how you could always come to more than one resolution to a problem. So there's lots of different ways you can solve a problem for someone. So I enjoyed the the way that it all worked. I started from, as I say, 16. I then sort of progressed within the company I was working, and I started to do a bit of sales, which I also enjoyed. And then I recognised that I had the potential to move on to potentially do it myself. So I wanted to leave where I was working. I thought I'd give it a go because I didn't have many financial constraints at the time. So yeah, I gave it a go, and I was on my own for about 2.5 years. And now this is nearly the end of the 7th year, and there's now 8 of us. So yeah, we're doing well.
Oh gosh, that's fantastic. Tell me a bit about all the different jobs that people do then, all 8 of you.
Yeah, so we sort of branch from every area, really. So we have some people that do some sales, mainly myself and one other guy, sort of try and sell. And then we have a team of 4 people full-time, arrange our operations, which is the day-to-day booking jobs for us and arranging all the paperwork and things that go with it. And then we have 2 members of staff that are warehouse workers, and they actually physically load the cars and containers for us for that side of our business. So, I mean, we actually have a crane that lifts containers on and off vehicles, so we put them to the ground. So yeah, we have people that work kind of every sort of area of the industry, really, which is quite good.
That's fascinating. And so taking each of those sort of different areas at a time, first of all, like perhaps like with your warehouse workers, what sort of skills do those people need? What are you looking for when you recruit people into that?
There's a level of licensing that needs to be done for some of
Okay.
the work they have. So ideally, we want people that either already have licensing for driving heavy machinery vehicles, or someone who's willing to give it a go and to get the licensing, which we will put them through. Time management's a very big thing within that, and also an eye for detail, because when you're dealing with expensive vehicles, of course, we have to make sure that when we receive the car, we check the condition of it, make sure that we notice any problems with it. So it's all about attention to detail and time management for that side of the role.
That is fascinating. That attention to detail piece is not something that I'd have thought of at all, but I'm sure that if people are paying a lot of money for a high-end car, they want that to be spot on.
Absolutely,
perfect.
Yeah. For sure, yeah.
Oh, that is fascinating. And what sort of, you sort of said about the heavy vehicle, what sort of licensing is that people sort of come in with, or you train them up for? Is it like a specific
in an ideal world, we want people to have like a forklift license to start with, and if you have a forklift license, and a lot of the skills to drive a forklift are transferable to the crane that we operate. So if they kind of have an understanding of it, they would understand how the crane works, and then we put them on a course for heavy machinery licensing, which would give them the ability to drive our straddle carrier. So we put them on, it's like a 3-day course, and they then come out of it with a license.
Oh, fantastic. So there's sort of training once people get into those roles as well.
Yeah.
And then you talked about your 4 operational people. I bet they need an eye for detail as well, but maybe in a different way, looking at the paperwork.
Yeah, and it's being able to multitask as well, because they won't just be dealing with one job at one time. You know, we have multiple jobs on the go, and they'll be at different stages. So some will be shipped, and they'll be dealing with it once it's actually left the UK. So they'll be having to arrange all the paperwork that goes into that, and they'll also have new bookings coming in, so they'll have to prepare them, book the space that they need for containers, and also we arrange a lot of customs clearance now, and that is exceptionally time sensitive, because anything that's coming to the UK now from Europe, which generally comes across from Calais into Dover, or Hook of Holland into Harwich, they are only going to take a few hours to get to the UK. So everything has to be done very quickly to make sure that we don't hold trailers up and things like that. So yes, it's a high pressure job.
I bet it is. I was just going to ask, what sort of skills then do you feel that people have in those ops roles, and do they come to you with any sort of prior experience?
Yeah, we've taken on a variety actually in that sense. A couple of the people have experience from previous jobs, and we've also taken on a couple of junior people to learn from the guys and myself, and Lee, the other business partner. It's all about feeling calm in high pressure situations, because generally, you know, it is a busy job. So yeah, it's about time management is a big thing, and being able to deal with the pressure of it, and also understanding that it's a team environment, so they have to lean on each other to get through the jobs that need to be done. So we try and encourage everyone to work together to make sure we get to the end goal.
It sounds sort of really collaborative and a lot of teamwork in terms of how you do things. Do they also need sort of any hard skills like ability to use computers and that sort of stuff, like MS Office?
Yeah, definitely. So that's probably the key, really, is having good computer skills. Near enough everything nowadays is done through computers and like cloud-based systems. So yeah, long are the days of letters and things like that for us.
Yeah. And so do they need as well sort of good, I was just thinking, if you're writing communications, you need a good standard of English as well, do you know?
Yeah, it's important. I mean, it's not the like a necessity as such. You know, we sort of we teach people in the ways that we like to communicate with our clients and our suppliers. But yeah, it definitely helps, that's for sure.
Is that the same with numeracy, that perhaps you're training people up, or do you like people to come with good?
Yeah, on a mathematical basis, it definitely helps, because there's a lot of numbers. It's that is quite important. It's not very high end maths as such, but you need to, basic level definitely needs to be good.
Do they deal with a lot of different sorts of people as well, those ops guys?
Yeah. So all of our clients they'll be dealing with on a day-to-day basis, and we have quite a lot of suppliers as well that they'll be on the phone to. So there's a lot of telephone communication going on throughout the day.
Right. So they need those
have confidence to be on the phone a lot is a big thing, really.
Oh yeah, and sometimes that's hard, isn't it? Because you don't always get the opportunity to practice that when you're younger, because you tend to be messaging or whatever, you know, in terms of
Yeah,
how you
yeah,
do
for
things. So
sure. Yeah.
that's really interesting. And talking about sort of confidence and communication skills, thinking about those sales roles, one of which, you know, sort of you're doing, I you need a my experience is you need a special set of skills when it comes to sales that's slightly different from customer service.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a confidence to go into a room with people that you might not have met in the past, to try and obviously explain what you do as a company and how you can benefit their business. I think a lot of it is confidence, really. You know, if you go in there and you portray that you know what you're talking about and that you can help them, then that goes a long way into giving them reassurance that you're the type of people they want to work with. So that's kind of what we tried to. I think it helps for me now working for myself because you know I have a massive passion for what we do, and obviously I believe in the guys that work for us. So you know I feel confident going into a room from the people that work for us. That helps us for sure.
That's so interesting. Like you say, sort of having built something up yourself, it takes. What sort of skills do you think that's taken to start a business? Obviously, you've reflected on your experience, but it's quite, you know, you need quite a lot of guts, don't you, to like go into business for yourself. Be like, yeah, right, I'm not going to have a paycheck every month.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna go out there and do this. What's helped you in terms of like, do you think personality traits or skills that you've got for that?
I would say patience is a big thing when you first
Oh,
start up a business. Yeah, you need to understand that it's not going to happen overnight. And to be fair, for sort of 6 to 7 months to start with, it was a bit touch and go. You know, there was a lot of time I thought, should I just go back into working for someone? But I decided that it was worth sticking at, and you know, I was enjoying at least trying, and the perseverance paid dividends in the end. So a lot of it comes down to patience, confidence in your ability that you can perform to a level that a customer is then
yeah,
going to work with you, and yeah, guts, like you say, really, that is obviously a big thing. So
yeah. The courage to do it. And
definitely.
probably just as sort of as a note to end on, David, if you could go back and have a conversation with, you know, young David leaving school, what piece of careers advice would you give yourself, do you think?
To just have the confidence to go for it, really. You know, I wouldn't change what I've done in the slightest, to be fair. So yeah, to have the patience to start with. You know, there's when you're first learning a job, it can be a little bit mundane and trying to get your head around the different areas, different things. So to have the patience to enjoy the process, really, and then obviously understand that, you know, it all pays off in the end. So yeah.
Oh, that is brilliant. Thank you so much. That's just been fascinating talking to you and so interesting to hear about your journey and how you've taken opportunities that have come to you and just maximised them to create this brilliant and unusual business.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks so much for your time, David.
No problem.